page 170. We're going to be on Unit 17 in vocabulary this week. The Nile Crocodile. Remember, the Nile is a river in Africa, right? So then we know that the crocodile lives in Africa before we even start reading. And maybe it lives in the river. Let's see. Journal article is an article that's peer-reviewed, which means that other professional people that work in the same field or job as the author read this article, and they made sure that everything in it was factual, right? They made sure that everything was true. Okay. The Nile crocodile is the largest crocodile in Africa. It is a fearsome animal with huge jaws. Remember what fearsome meant? Fearsome, meaning that it's a wild, right? Wild animal that usually they hunt their food, right? With huge jaws. It also has large teeth. Its strong body can move quickly. So we know that some of these characteristics, right? Huge jaws, large teeth, and being able to move quickly, these are all adaptations that would help the crocodile survive, right? It helps it get its food. Habitat. A habitat is where they live. The Nile crocodile lives in the warmer parts of Africa. It must live near water. The animal will die without it. The Nile crocodile might live in tranquil freshwater lakes. It might live in muddy, swampy rivers. It might even live in a ditch. The Nile crocodile sometimes travels as far as 15 miles in search of water. Okay? When you think about lakes and rivers and stuff, it's not like the ocean, right? The ocean always has like these big waves and it's constantly moving around. But lakes, the water is usually steady, right? It doesn't keep on moving. It just sits in one spot. So it's calm, right? Tranquil means calm. Nile crocodiles can live for short periods in salt water, right? Salt water is found in oceans. We just learned this in science. Scientists think that at some point they even swam across the channel or way that separates Madagascar from Africa. This would explain how this kind of crocodile came to live on Madagascar. Okay? So now they're saying that they started to live in the area of Madagascar, which they swam across the channel, right? It's like a passage or a way. All right? Behavior. We know that behavior is the things they do or the way they act. We can say the way they act or behave. Okay? The Nile crocodile is a cold-blooded animal. It depends on its surroundings to keep its body warm and cool. All right? So people, we get warm, our body warms itself up, right? But the cold-blooded animals, they have to be in the sun to get warm. To warm up, it lies in the sun to absorb heat, right? To absorb means to take in through its skin, right? To cool off, it moves into the shade of the water. It also opens its mouth to let heat escape. Interesting, I never knew that. The diet. Diet is what they eat. Okay? For some crocodiles, waiting in the water for hours For some crocodiles, waiting in the water for hours for its food might seem tiresome, right? It might make them tired or exhausted. For the Nile crocodile, however, it's all in a day's work. Unlike many animals that hunt on land, the Nile crocodile does not target mainly sick, lame, and weak animals, okay? Instead, it waits to attack any animal that comes near. For example, a gazelle, a deer-like animal that moves with grace, might wander for a drink. Okay? If you think about a gazelle, it looks like a smaller version of a deer, and they move very slowly And when they say gracefully, that means their movements are very simple, right? They don't hop or jump or anything like that. So they're walking very like slowly and easy movements. Okay? Its elegant neck reaches down to the water. At that moment, the Nile crocodile shoots out of the water. It grabs the gazelle with its huge jaws. A Nile crocodile eats almost anything that it can catch. It enjoys fish. It eats small or large land animals. It will even eat other crocodiles. Creepy. Description. Okay, so now they're giving us some details. Most people don't get close enough to a Nile crocodile to inspect it, right? To check it out closely, to observe it. However, if you could take a close look, you would see strong feet and legs. The tail is very strong, too. It moves the crocodile through the water quickly. The tail is so powerful, in fact, that it can knock down a large animal. The eyes and nostrils, the nostrils is like by the nose, right? The eyes and nostrils of this crocodile are on the top of its head. This makes, see here, you can see that here's his head, and you can see that his eyes and the nostrils, I think, are like right here. There's like 2 little holes. Those would be his nostrils, kind of like you have in your nose. All right, the eyes and nostrils of this crocodile are on the top of its head. This makes it possible for the crocodile to suspend its body underwater and still see and breathe. Okay, so if you look at this crocodile here, what it can do is it can go underneath the water, right? And the only thing, you see how his eyes and nostrils kind of poke out? So what they do is they hang out, they suspend, which means like they're hanging out underneath the water. And only their eyes and their nostrils, right? So they can still breathe. Only their eyes and nostrils is poking out the water. Tourists travel in boats to see Nile crocodiles. Both professional and amateur photographers have taken photographs of these fierce animals. Okay, so if they're professionals, that means they know all about the crocodiles. They study them, right? And amateur is the opposite, okay? They're not professional. They're just regular people who are probably on vacation just looking at animals. They have taken photographs of this fierce animal. Wise visitors know they must stay clear of its tail and mouth, right? Because if they hit you with their tail, they can knock you over, and you go too close to his mouth, they might bite onto you. If hungry, a Nile crocodile will take a bite out of almost anything or anyone. Nile crocodile facts. They can weigh over 2,000 pounds. They can measure 20 feet in length. 20 feet, let's see. So that's about 4 of me laying down. I'm like 5 feet. So that's like 4 of me. Can you think about me and 4 of me? Look how long that would be. They can eat half its weight in one meal. Goodness, so that means in one meal they can eat about 1,000 pounds of food. That's crazy. They can live between 45 and 100 years. They cannot chew. It tips its head up and swallows the food whole. Okay, so for example, they were talking about that little gazelle, like a deer. So think about a deer. They would bite onto the deer's neck, right? And then he would put his head up, and the whole deer would just kind of like slide down his throat. It's kind of like Scooby-Doo, if you ever watch Scooby-Doo. Okay, and then they gave us a map of Africa, and they're showing you how, okay, so here's Africa, right? And they're saying that the crocodiles pretty much swam across this channel here, and now they also live in Madagascar. For homework, I would like you to complete pages 172 through 173 and make your flashcards, okay, boys?